Hey y'all, it's Megan. If you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome aboard. Today I'm talking about something that is really going to be beneficial mostly for people who are working at Disney. If you are just interested in how working at Disney works, then welcome and please enjoy. But I'm talking specifically today about people, or two people, who are going to be working as Jungle Cruise skippers. And these are a couple of things that I learned while working there that made my life easier once I knew them. And if I was going to be starting over, these are things that I would take into consideration when working at the Jungle Cruise, how I would kind of want to approach the position. So if you are going to be a Jungle Cruise skipper, then maybe some of these things will help you out. So the first thing that I'm going to mention applies to a lot of different places in Magic Kingdom specifically, but it really applies to the Jungle Cruise. Don't go to the Mouse for food. The Mouse is the Mouseketeria is the cafeteria that is available for cast members. It is, however, on the complete opposite side of the park. And it takes a good hot minute to walk there. So you only get a 30-minute lunch break. You get 15-minute breaks a couple other times throughout your shift. And it is just really not enough time to get all the way over there, get food, eat, and come back. So I always recommend to anyone who's working at Disney, but specifically at the Jungle Cruise, just bring your food. Just bring a lunch, pack some snacks, put some stuff in a bag, and throw it in the fridge in the break room. The Jungle Cruise did have a break room with a fridge and a microwave and all that fun stuff. So make sure that you just bring some noms with you, because you don't want to have to be trekking all the way over. You know, you spend your entire lunch break basically running to the Mouse and trying to get some food and then come back. Obviously, if you don't have any food with you, then just make that hike and make it quick. But just as a general suggestion, I always say try to bring some food with you instead of trying to buy it while you're on shift. Something else that I learned while I was working there, and I learned it pretty quick, was you're gonna be sore. Unless you have previously, like right before you get to Disney, had a job where you stand up all day, every day for your entire shift, and you don't sit down, then you're going to have some soreness in the core area. My back and my abs got so strong kind of fast because you get used to it pretty quickly. To begin with, Tylenol will be your friend. So if you know ahead of time that you're gonna be in an attraction, I would say go ahead and start like kind of getting that core prepped, because Jungle is not the only place where it is prevalent that you stand the entire time. Most positions at Disney are, if you're on stage, you're standing. So if you are working at an attraction especially, you're gonna want some solid core muscles, back and abs. So if you have the time and the ability to kind of get that going before you start, you're gonna be less sore once you actually get there and start working. And that's something that I wish I'd known, because I was a gelatinous mess of no muscle when I went. I was sore for a little while. So that is just something that I would think about if I was going to be working there again, is I would try to hit those abs a little bit, try to stretch that back out, get everything a little bit more solid and in shape, so that you're not as sore when you start standing up for 8 to 12 hours a day. Something I learned the hard way is to keep your nails short. I know that you can't have them very long anyway. Based on the Disney look, it can only be 1/4 of an inch or 6 millimeters past the end of your fingertips. So whether you have fake nails that you go and you get them done, obviously they can't be black or purple or whatever that is. If you have your nails done, they can't be very long, but if you have natural nails, they also cannot be very long. And if you've followed along with me for any length of time, you know that I have dermatillomania, so I pick at my nails and my skin anyway, so it's kind of hard for me to have long nails. If you have any questions about that, or you're interested in those videos, I'll link it up there in the corner and down below. You can see my dermatillomania stories. So it's hard for me to have long nails anyway, but when I do have them, they are not real strong. So if you can grow your nails very long and healthy and strong, good for you. But that is not something that I could do, and I learned that I should not even try while working at the Jungle Cruise, because there's a lot of moving parts and such on the Jungle Cruise boats, and more than once I got my nails whacked off by the throttle, by the steering wheel. A lot of times it was the wheel. Yeah, it just, you know, it'll just snap right off right at my finger, and it didn't feel good. So if you are a person who tries to grow your nails out longer, or you want to keep your nails done, just be aware that that can happen, and just kind of be careful. And if that's not worth it to you, then just kind of keep those nails cut short and roll with it how they are. This one really only applies if you are working during the winter, I say winter loosely, winter months at Disney World. If you are in Florida during, I'm gonna say January to March, that's basically winter. And it can get cold. You don't think about Florida being cold, and to most people visiting, they're probably still gonna be wearing, you know, real light jackets, not even wearing long pants a lot of times. But when you're on the water at the Jungle Cruise, it gets a lot colder. I don't know the science behind it. Maybe some of you do. When you are over the water, the temperature feels a lot colder. It's like the wind chill kind of situation. So according to Disney Look, last I checked, you can wear like a long sleeve undershirt under your costume. And I recommend doing that because they do have long pants and they have jackets that you can wear that are part of the costume. And definitely wear those. But sometimes that was not enough for me. And if you are like a lizard, like I am, where I swear I can't control my own body heat, I need a heat lamp at all times. If it is below 70, I am cold. Exhibit A, the squeaky puffy coat. So if you are a cold person like I am, I would recommend getting some like Under Armour, Nike, whatever, some of the like dry fit undershirts that you can wear that are gonna fit under and be like an extra layer for you. And then also obviously wear the jackets and the long pants and do what you can within the Disney Look and the costume guidelines to stay as warm as possible, because there were a couple of days that it may have only been about 40-45 degrees, which is cold enough to me, but it felt much colder when you were on the water. So just something to be aware of if you are working there during the winter months. One other thing about the weather while I'm on it, it rains in Florida a lot. If you didn't know that, now you do. I'm sure that most of you know that, especially if you are here because you are working at Disney World. You know that it rains every single day at 3 o'clock in the summers, and it rains a lot other times too. That being said, the rain gear that you have as part of the costume it's rain gear. You know, wear it or not. I never wore the pants. We had a full rain suit is how it was when I was there. I'm not sure what it's like now. Please let me know if you happen to know. But it was a raincoat with little, you know, it was a clear raincoat and little buttons snapped up, hood, and then there were plastic rain pants that you could wear over it too. I never bothered to wear the pants because by the time you get the pants on over all of the costume and you are working for 20 to 30 minutes, you are sweating so bad that you might as well have just been wet from the rain, because y'all, that plastic doesn't breathe. If you've worn a plastic raincoat, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I would rather my legs be a little bit wet than be wet from sweat and also like suffocatingly hot in those pants. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't wear the, I said don't wear the pants. I just said just wear the rain jacket. But also, while we're on that, anyone who has read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or seen the movie, I guess, they say it in that too, but know where your towel is. And I mean that with all sincerity. When it was summer especially, and if there was scheduled, you know, keep an eye on the weather forecast, but if there's gonna be a whole bunch of rain, take a towel with you. I kept a beach towel clean and dry and ready to go for my shifts all the time. I would just throw it in my bag and I would take it with me, put it in the break room where it was gonna stay dry, because when you go on your breaks, you want to be able to dry off a little bit. My last tip is just something about the running of the ride, and you will figure out what works for you. If you are working at the Jungle Cruise, you'll figure out how you like to approach each position, how it works best for you, and how you are able to be most efficient. But what I found worked for me was when I was loading or unloading a boat, specifically unloading, I would crouch down a little bit more, which, you know, when you have one leg up on the side of the boat and the other leg down inside, you know, it's kind of hard to like get that uneven squat going, but I would try the best I could when I saw little guys coming towards me, because the little kids can't reach the handrails, so they will try to hold on to you, and if your hands are up here, they can't reach them, so they will grab whatever they can, which is usually a little lower, and sometimes their little nails are very sharp and they scratch. Sometimes they have sticky little handprints that are then embedded into the polyester on my thighs. So what I would do is just like kind of try to little uneven legs, squat down as much as I could so that I could actually take their hands and help them out. That was just what worked for me. Maybe it's because I am so short, that's like where people hit. Maybe on other people it would be like a knee that they would get, but it was not my knees that these little guys were grabbing. So something that worked for me, and maybe something that will work for you if you are finding that a lot of little hands are grabbing at you. Then maybe try to squat down a little bit, get down on their level, which is the thing that you do with Disney anyway, is you always come down to the child's level when you're speaking to them and stuff. So just a little something else that can help you when you're unloading the boats to be a little bit more accessible to the little ones that are coming off your boats. So that is it for my skip tips. I think that's what I'll call it. I'll call it skip tips. Just some things, some ideas that I have come up with through my experience working at Disney, working at the Jungle Cruise specifically, things that I would like to have known before I got there, or things that I learned about working at the Jungle Cruise that kind of made the situation easier, made the job even more fun and enjoyable. So if you are currently a Jungle Cruise skipper, let me know if these apply still, if there's any extras that you'd like to add. If you're gonna be a Jungle Cruise skipper, have the best freaking time ever, and let me know how your job goes. Always keep me up to date when you are joining the college program, or if you are working at Disney in any capacity. I always love hearing y'all's stories down there, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.